Hello everybody, welcome back to the Pie Show. This is episode 12, and what is likely going to be the final episode of the Pie Show. It's about converting dreams into reality. Alright, so for this episode, I'm going to start off by showing everyone what was a part of my reality growing up. Here we have me doing some juggling, doing some tricks. I played a lot of soccer when I was growing up. One day I dreamed of kicking and, just hitting a soccer ball about 1,000 times before I let it hit the ground. And one day I actually made that dream come true. Obviously I'm not going to show you all that here, because that would take a long time. But yeah, soccer was a really great part of my life. All those handstand tricks. Yeah, we had a lot of fun here with the slow motion. Alright, here I am showing the camera my 7x7 Rubik's Cube. And I did a time lapse of me solving this Rubik's Cube. Usually takes about a half hour or so for me to do that, so that's why we're doing a time lapse, and it goes by pretty quickly. I've always been big on puzzles and logic stuff. Obviously this show is called The Pie Show because I like math, so putting order to things has always been something I've enjoyed. I even kind of feel like maybe I've had a little bit of obsessive compulsive disorder to a very small degree. But here you go, solved up. And you can also do fun things like this where you make, once you solve a Rubik's Cube, you can kind of make cool patterns in the cube. And so here are just a small number of examples. Here I am riding my skateboard. This is, when I was growing up, I used to ride a scooter, bike, skateboards, things like that. It's fun to have a mode of transportation that isn't a vehicle and isn't just your own feet. Yeah, I think just riding a skateboard was my favorite part. I'm going to show you some tricks here in a minute that I was able to do. I'm not that great. But yeah, there you got a little finger flip. That's what that last one was called. This one's a wraparound in slow motion. Let's just hop it on.
There we go. Did you get that?
An ollie. Just a little twist. I forget what they call that one. I don't know what that was. Let's see. Yeah, and then I have a lot of attempts doing a heel flip. And I get very close to landing it. It's actually, a heel flip's kind of hard to land. I've landed it a few times in my life. And I can always get really close. This one looks like a varial heel flip, gets pretty close. And I show you a bunch of attempts just to save time, but I'm trying to land a heel flip. Actually, once I changed my wheels on my skateboard, it became a lot harder to land this trick.
Yeah. Thug life.
Alright, so we're talking about converting dreams to reality. Now, the way I see it, we have two realms. We have this imaginary realm, and we have the physically real realm. Alright, so with our physically real realm, this is like what makes up our bodies. Like we've talked about this a lot in the show. Basically, what is matter and energy, that's what makes up the physically real realm. And if it wasn't for this realm, we wouldn't have the imaginary realm. So basically, the imaginary realm is created by life, and you can't have life without the physically real realm. Physically real realm creates the imaginary realm because with life we can think and we can create ideas and we can dream, and these are all things that are in the imaginary realm. Okay, so we can do all that stuff thanks to the physically real realm, which makes the imaginary realm. Now, the imaginary realm is infinite because there's no... In general, infinity is more of a concept, which is kind of like an idea or a thought. Infinity is something that just goes on forever, never really had a beginning, doesn't have an ending. That's just what the imaginary realm is really, because there's no limit to what you can think of. However, the physically real realm is finite, and this is true because of the law of conservation of energy and the law of conservation of matter. Okay, those are just things that make it so the physically real realm doesn't really grow or shrink as far as like the sum of matter and energy. That is a constant. So that's what makes the physically realm finite. Now, in order for you to take something from the imaginary realm into the physically real realm, it requires action. Now, action is something that is physical, right? But to take something that is imaginary, like an idea or a dream or something, like you want an invention that can do this thing or something, you know, you have to think about, well, how can I make that happen physically? And basically you try it over and over again until you finally get it. And so it takes a lot of trying, and that is all physical. Trying, attempting, you know, keep on doing it over and over again until you get good at it, learn from your mistakes, you just keep on going. And it's important to do this if you want to make your dreams come true. Now, sometimes you can have a dream and it's impossible, or what feels like impossible. I mean, some dreams just are impossible, right? Like, you've had dreams before where maybe you have a dream where you just start to fly, right? And you don't have wings or anything, you just decide that you want to fly and you start to fly. That sort of thing, it doesn't matter how many times you try it, you're not going to do it, right? But some dreams are possible, and when you can kind of figure out which one is possible and which one is not, then you kind of go with it. And sometimes you even think a dream that is possible is impossible, and maybe you just don't try it, or maybe it just kind of miraculously happens. That is something that can happen too. For me, I've had a lot of dreams. One of my dreams was I wanted to meet with aliens, and for me that just kind of was one of those things where it just kind of miraculously happened. It was around the time where I was filming for episode 2 of The Pi Show, and I was just visited by aliens. And that was something that wasn't really in my control, at least I don't think it really was. I mean, that was something that the aliens had to decide they wanted to do. And I totally understand if you guys don't believe me in telling this story, but for me, this is just something that happened. It's very true to me. And that was a dream of mine. And it just kind of came true on its own, really, in a way. At least for me, that's how it feels. So some dreams just happen, but a lot of them, right, like for me earlier, I was doing my skate tricks, and I was trying to land that trick on my skateboard. I showed myself trying over and over again, and I never made it, and I never filmed myself making it. I've done it before, but I didn't catch it on film, right? So some things you'll try over and over again, and you will get, some you won't, and you know, sometimes it just helps to have people with you. You know, what can help is, you know, what helps is having friends and taking advice from others. Sometimes socially, you know, people will give you advice about how to make your dream come true. And sometimes just having a lot of help, having a lot of people help you make that dream come to true that's what you need. You are fully responsible for your dreams. Others cannot stop you. So you're responsible for your dreams. Others cannot keep your dream from you. They can basically, the only thing that people can do to keep you from making your dream come true is they could kill you, or they could imprison you. So these are the big things you got to watch out for, right? If you don't want to be hindered in your ability to make your dream come true. But sometimes you can instill your dream in somebody else, and even if you die or you're in prison, somebody else can make your dream come true because they truly believe in it as well. And so sometimes even these things can't stop you from making your dream come true. The only way somebody can really truly stop you, and like I'm saying, it's up to you, but they can try to convince you that you'll never make your dream come true, and if you believe them or you allow them to get to you, then you are the one who stops yourself from making your dream come true. And like I said, some dreams are impossible. That's something else that can stop you, but in reality, you know, making your dreams come true, it takes action, it takes repetitive action, it could take advice, or you could just get lucky and a miracle could happen. Right, everybody? So, we're talking about converting dreams into reality. For me, this little guy right here, he was once a dream, and now he's real. And, oh, there you go. He's got a little speed up coming out. Yeah, even though I had this dream for a long time, dreams don't always go exactly how you might picture them. One of the things about dreams versus reality is that reality is kind of like a much more complicated dream. There's just a lot more reason in reality. When it comes to dreams, it's all just kind of made up stuff we think about in our head. And there don't need to be any reasons behind why anything happens, right? In a dream, you can just start flying. Whereas in life, you can't just up and start flying away from where you're standing. It's just not physically possible. So I like to oftentimes think of reality as kind of like a very complicated lucid dream. Yeah. And so in order to make your dreams come true, you just got to really focus on what you want and charge towards that thing. For me, for a lot of my life, I wanted to have a family. I wanted to get married and have a kid. And it's finally come true. It was hard to find the right woman. It's very difficult to do that sort of thing. And it was scary when she was having this little guy. By the way, this is Oliver. This is my son. And he is, he's only 2 months old right now. And he is just awesome. Yeah. Maybe he's a little camera shy. I don't know. I don't know if he's ever been on camera recording for shows. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. That's my wife's. Well, she does like take videos of them too. But yeah, during dreams, our brains think in terms of what are called theta waves. I believe that's what it is, and it's basically like if you had a wave that is much less frequent of waves, and you know, like, see how I'm bouncing? I'm kind of bouncing frequently, right? But if I bounce like this, that's like theta waves versus beta waves. Beta waves are what we have when we're awake. That's our style of thinking, as in beta waves. And so, basically, thinking is very different when you're awake versus when you're asleep. And that's how you get dreams, is just from having different ways of thinking. And sometimes dreams can be way cool because there's just things you're missing. That reality kind of restricts you, right? There's like rules in reality, but in dreams, there's really no rules. You can think whatever you want to think. And so that's why I like being a dreamer, because there's really no restrictions. And it was fun to dream about having a family, but in reality, it's a lot better than it is in a dream. And it's because, you know, I don't know, there's just so many things that are unexpected, and you actually truly experience them and remember them. Whereas with dreams, they can be really cool, but you don't really remember them nearly as easily a lot of the time. But yeah, really love this little guy and my wife, our family. That's such a big part for me, for my life. It's making sure I can have a good, happy family. And that's not all I've dreamt about, but it's really the most important dream for me to make real. I also have a lot of much bigger dreams that are seemingly impossible in my lifetime. For example, one dream I had was to be like an astronaut or a space time traveler guy. I don't think that's gonna happen in my lifetime, but it would be cool. Another big one would be to just kind of, another space related. I really like space stuff. It's like to have, our society, our planet, come to a point where we can meet with aliens on a regular basis and kind of, I don't know, basically form a trust so that we could trade with them or just be a bigger part of their lives and they could be a bigger part of ours. Maybe we could help them, they could help us, kind of thing. I don't know if that'll ever really happen to humanity, but maybe someday. But that's a big dream of mine, and yeah, stuff like that. Inventing, spaceships that don't use fossil fuels. What other dreams have I had, Oliver? Recreating a lot of Nikola Tesla's work would be really cool. These are all dreams that probably are just a little too big. But this dream has come true, and I'm very happy about it. My wife doesn't want to be in the shot. She's trying to do me favors. Thanks, Evan. We're all waving. We're a pretty happy family, though. We're excited for Christmas time and hanging out with even more family. Big family stuff. Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. This has been great. This has been a great show. I hope you all feel like you enjoyed watching and maybe even learned something. This is my last episode, so this is it. Yeah. I started this show when I was living with my best friend in another city, and now I've got a wife and a child. All my dreams came true. The reality of the situation is it's very time consuming to have a baby, and so that's a big part of why I can't keep my show going. So yeah, anything you want to say?
Happy trails!
Happy trails!